when last we left our intrepid heroes in their daring adventure, the previous episode the night before, everyone had, in their own way, dealt with or encountered a shadow creature. um, this is not Genji's first run in with something along these lines. However, these aren't the same thing he was fighting last time. So it was a little new to everyone. Let's see. The last thing that was happening was you guys had just finished combat with a group of them, and we had yet to um, search the house. The cart had been put out, and your escort had been found bare. Horse is still intact.
Well, so options?
I am not like I'm actually struggling a little. I need to. I sit down on the steps. I am definitely weakened. Well, they have
Are you injured? I have some more potions here.
an injury of this of not so. Pause. An injury more to my key for the moment. I think would be the best way to put
Appear
it.
to be bleeding. Is he bleeding?
I am weakened.
Yeah, I was
This
gonna
how
say
they.
um
This how. Okay,
I'll
sorry.
have anyone roll medicine if you got it, heal checks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I don't have.
Hmm.
I might
Jaeger,
actually.
the healer.
I feel like I should put some ranks in heal next time I level, simply because I feel like I probably should have at some point before now.
I
Leander
think I
doesn't get
checked
one,
some.
he's inside.
I
All
think I
right,
checked
if no
like
one
the.
has the roll, then I will take perception checks,
Oh, okay.
spot checks.
Hold on, I'm
Or
looking
speed.
for my skills. I think I do have a heal check actually.
Well, otherwise I have an 18 on my spot.
Okay.
Alright. I had to fight the cat for my dice real quick.
Did you win?
I did.
You
Uh,
die.
spot is a 20 total.
Okay.
My spot is a 27 total.
Okay. So, yeah, as he sits down, uh, he doesn't look much different. Sweaty, but that could be from effort. Um, yeah, he looks somewhat pale. I mean, but like I said, that could literally just be from exhaustion. Not real sure. Um, However, Ali is out here, and he chimes in by saying that Genji does not look well. Perhaps you need to lie down, friend.
Hey,
Does look tired.
okay, yeah, I'll. Out of game, I am literally. They took out like over a third of my con,
Oh.
or I think around a third.
Oh. It would appear I
Idiot.
perhaps have some skill
Oh
points to
no,
spend.
not even a third. But it's the problem of still, I'm not. I don't have a very high con to begin with,
Right?
so yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's looking a little, you know, winded. Um. However, Ali is pointing out some things. Um. Your your eyes are a little sunken. You look very pale. You know, things of that nature.
It is. So
If you would
I just
allow him, he would examine you.
I allow him, and I'm explaining. It is the primary method which such creatures attack with. They draw upon they rip away portions of your essence, or your key. It's temporary. I will recover with, I believe, a good night or two, a good day or two's rest. But
And yeah, he opens the top of your robe, revealing your chest, and where the thing's hand had slipped inside of you, um, through the front of your chest. It is sort of purplish, kind of like a bruise, very deep under the skin.
it is also how they out of game. I mean, Sam, stop me if I say anything that you think I shouldn't know. But let's face it, my people have been fighting these for centuries. I feel like I
Yes,
should have a fair amount of knowledge here.
yeah, and this is quite specifically your origin story. You remember you were trained to be someone that hunted and policed. So anything incorrect, I will fix. But yeah, I mean, you're relatively spot on with everything you got going
It is how they
on.
create more of themselves. They will descend upon an individual and drain them so thoroughly of their life essence that the void rushes in to fill the space created. And in doing so, turns them into another shadow.
So I probably couldn't bear slam it down on the ground then.
Not without
Right.
some form of magic or blessed blade.
If I slapped it with the flat edge of my sky lizard sword, I could probably flatten it. Maybe. I wouldn't want to break it though. We'll just have to carry on.
On that, Leander is coming out. Um, in his arms, he has a small chest, And he kind of pipes in. Did you just make a pun, big man? Stick to punching things. You know, very funny. Yeah, have a look. Drops the chest at his feet, pops it open,
Where did
and I'm sorry.
Ollie, do you mind you stepping on me, friend? Where did my token go?
Yeah, I'm
I
like, what do you
don't
mean?
know. Is he under Yule? Ah!
Anyway, now that I'm back, guys,
Hilarious.
let's put Genji on my left shoulder and we'll just walk.
I'll point out it's also nightfall.
This is your homeland. Do we make fire? I assume the darkness probably
No, no, no,
isn't.
no, no, no. It is not. You guys made it here midday.
Oh,
Remember, remember,
sorry.
you smelled midday milk burning.
I apologize.
No
My
problem.
bad. My bad. Well, first off, what was in the chest?
So inside of the chest, there is everything one would need for visiting a shrine. All the proper things one would need for prayer, incense. There's a couple of oils and powders one may need to sit down and identify. But very quickly, everyone notices there are several pieces of broken jade and a bracelet of prayer beads that look um odd to everyone else. Genji, you've seen them make before. They're relatively rare, but they're made of a redwood that grows a little further inward of the island, more central, which is essentially Shadowlands. The tree only grows, you know, deeper in. Leander would offer them to you as it feels appropriate that, you know, these go to somebody from this land.
I would accept them, and I'm like, I will need the supplies to ascend the shrine.
Well, then, there you are.
Everyone has enough jade, right?
I hope so.
I
Well,
certainly hope.
I was thinking of taking these bits and pieces here and seeing if I couldn't grind them down to make some more lenses, because apparently these things, these shadows, burn them out.
Burn them out?
Yeah,
You mean like old flash paper?
not quite so fast, but yes.
Hmm.
One I had lasted only about a half a minute.
Well, that could be a problem.
Yeah. Mind you, most battles of this, smaller scale are pretty well decided in that time period, but nonetheless.
Do this one.
I would appreciate some help moving until I recovered. I will confess. So I guess my main question, Sam, is: are these prayer beads as a bracelet or as a necklace?
They are, excuse me, it is actually ridiculously long. One could potentially wrap it around their waist. It may even be 3 entire feet.
Alrighty. Kind of
Hold
thing
your
that's
arms
meant.
out, Genji.
Okay.
And I scoop him up and I put him on my shoulders and I let him piggyback.
I kind of sigh. Thank you, Jaeger. Did that come through? Sorry, I
Yes.
do. Yeah. Okay.
No, it did. It did. I shut off my mic and hit my vape in satisfaction with the scene.
That's fair. All right.
So
Oh,
You
drats.
can really
We do
see a
need
lot from up there.
this
a bit more than I'm used to.
this
Yes.
this rice paddy used to provide for a small village nearby. I say used to because who's going to tend to it now? With the amount of shadows that are here currently, who knows if there's even a village that needs supplied anymore.
Right.
Does anyone have local knowledge? Local.
I do. I actually have a pretty good one.
All right. What about a history check?
Not as good, but still all right. Which
All
do you
right.
want first?
Give me the local check.
30.
Wow. All right. There, the small village nearby housed several miners. Hence the reason they needed a farm. None of them really did that for themselves. And so a nearby farm was quite the lucrative venture, as these miners tended to silver mine. This is where your history roll comes in.
24.
So the reason you're apparently so aware of this particular silver mine is due to its relative closeness to the coast. It had once been contested by moth pirates. The Empire showed up, lent a hand. That's where some of the beginnings of good relations between this new evil empire of vice and the old empire they were crushing came about.
Okay. So,
To speak up, I'm like, we should leave a note, some form, explaining that when we arrive, what happened. The shadows are unlikely to interfere with it on their own.
They seem mindless.
Yes.
Was also gonna mention The end of last session, I had mentioned gathering up armor, but not to keep. More to, I don't know if any of it's ancestral, like their weapons and whatnot. So I'd be stashing that in the house too, assumingly close to the Genji's note. Also, Genji, did you mention a purification ritual?
I would have. I need to do that first before we set off. Luckily, I
Perhaps a
have
midday, perhaps a midday bivouac is in order.
probably a good idea.
Midday bivy what?
A bit of a nap.
Just make a
Rest.
fire.
A big walk? Where are we
Yeah.
walking to?
Nowhere. Just, you know what? No more big words. I swear.
You're
Well,
gonna
that'll
break
last
that
a
oath
day or
really
so.
quick.
Yeah, you'll. I bet he'll last a day.
Hey Jaeger, could you walk around the edge of the building and its immediate environs, make sure there aren't any more enemies? That big walk.
Give me a moment. Be right back.
So, Jaeger, while they're setting up a little bit of a camp, a makeshift camp, which doesn't require much. There is stove and all that inside. You could just, you know, use what's at hand. Um, I need you, sir, to roll two things. I need a survival check, also a search check. I don't care in what order. They go hand in hand. I do, however, need you to state in what order before you just roll really badass and put it on the shitty roll,
Right.
the shitty skill. Yeah.
So, I guess you said a search check and
A
a
search
nature.
and survival.
Search and survival.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not trained in searching at all, so we'll go with
That's fine.
survival first. Okay. Seven plus 19. Sorry, 19 on the survival check,
Okay.
and
And
I got a 10 on my search.
okay. Then as you are searching the perimeter, maybe a 3 or 4 minute brisk yachting stride outward, you find some footprints, which is relatively hard in that most of them are covered by water. But you follow them for a time, and after another 5 minutes or so, find yourself in a drier portion of the patty that hadn't been tended to in some time, where a flagstone denotes the edge of the property. Only this flagstone doesn't seem like your average property marker. What kind of knowledges you got?
Oh, I'm sorry, I was muted. Knowledge nature. It's about all I'm working with Jaeger.
All right. I still need you to roll knowledge arcana.
Knowledge arcana.
Yes.
So I don't have a train. So the highest you can go in, get in is
Don't
10,
worry about all
right?
that. Just
Okay.
yeah, don't worry about all that. Just roll it.
18.
Okay. Yeah, you're not real certain, but it looks magical in nature. That's all you're really gathering.
Just a weird property marker that looks extra.
Yeah. I can tell by your stunned silence that you're not real sure what to do next.
No.
Okay. So while you stand there in the field and contemplate, everybody else that is at the house. What you guys got going?
I am working on my on doing the purification rituals.
Okay. It would seem, Genji, you're the only one that requires some jade. But after the ritual, you gain back 1 con.
Oh. Okay.
And you are no longer susceptible to a persistent fortitude save. You are fine. You're sure a solid night's rest, you'll be back to good as
Alrighty.
Good thing
Good to
Sandoval
know.
mentioned that, huh?
new. Your ritual, you perform it in about, it takes about 6 minutes, 5 or 6 minutes, give or take. um, do you use the new prayer beads?
Uh, yeah. Yes.
Okay. Need you to roll concentration.
Oh boy. First roll with my new dice. That is a very fucking promising roll. 16 on the die. That gives me 16 at the moment. I need to put ranks in
Okay.
that. I need to put ranks into a lot of things because, unfortunately, despite being the rogue, like, I don't actually get that many skill points. Oh well. But yeah, 16 total.
Okay. While you're doing the ritual, your flute begins playing some real low, subtle notes, sort of calling your attention towards a party member, Leander in particular. And with these beads, you get this profound sense of drawing, a heavy gravity almost that pulls you towards him. Do you go towards him?
Yes.
Good, because to not do so would require some effort. But you make your way to Leander, and you're drawn immediately to he has a bag slung over his shoulder, like a courier's bag.
Hmm.
Mm, there is a low thrumming. He opens the bag as you seem relatively interested in it and produces a sickly green glowing crystal about the size of his palm. And that seems to be what is calling to you. And he offers it to you.
Okay.
You take the gem.
Yes.
Okay. Upon taking the gem, I need you to roll will save.
Oh no. Yeah. That would be a 17 on the die. Gives me a total of 35.
Okay. So you can resist the urge as you and the contested roll both got it the exact same number. However, to the defender goes the tie. So you can resist if you'd like. However, you feel the greatest urge to shatter this crystal. Profane thing does not belong, especially here.
Okay. This is a. I don't know if it. Well, Sam, I'm trying to take a moment to work out where is this drive coming from? Is it coming from the crystal? Is it coming from internally?
All right. Roll a wisdom roll as you
Not bad.
as you seek to dig deeper for a deeper meaning.
15 on the wisdom.
And you are relatively certain it's this purification ritual, um, this prayer beads in conjunction with this newly made artifact. There's some symbiosis happening here that is beyond your understanding. However, you're pretty sure it all has to do with this new kit in conjunction with the soul of your cousin being trapped in this flute, some new profound knowledge you have yet to discover, as that's the key to this whole journey.
Right. But it's not the crystal telling, kind of going, you really, break
No,
it. Okay.
no,
Yeah. Then fuck it. I
it's not
will.
a my precious moment. No,
It's not a break this and release me moment.
correct.
Okay. That was my main concern.
No, no, it's more of a sense of vindication, justice,
Okay.
less of ooh, let's do this, and more of a this needs to be done.
Very well. Then do I guess my main question at this point, do I need to do it?
That's the will save means you can pick. You can do whatever you want.
I walk out to Are there any rocks out here?
Yeah, the ground's it's been cleared for the most part, as it would seem years have been taken to tend to this place. Someone really cared for the area. However, yes, there are stones placed everywhere, about
So
here and
I
there.
put it down on one. Jaeger. Jaeger.
Jaeger is not here.
He still hasn't yet returned.
Then Yule. I require your aid.
What do you need, my friend?
I need you to take another rock and smash this crystal.
Seems easy enough.
To keep up with the purification while he's doing that.
Yeah, and he finds a stone about the size of a man's head, and he palms it, effortlessly picking it up. And with great effort, you see his muscles flex as he places the stone above his head, brings it down with furious might, and shatters the stone upon the other stone. And the crystal is intact, leaving barely a mar upon it.
Ah.
As I don't know if I can.
I'm looking at it like he and I are both looking at this crystal wide-eyed, like, oh.
Perhaps it's a part of whatever you were doing over there.
Maybe let me. I pause.
Have you tried jade? It's gonna be Sandoval's answer to anything shadow, by the way.
Fair.
You tell him jade fights shadow, so that's his answer.
If it's not broke, don't try to fix it.
Out of game, you know what I really feel like I need at this point? I need a small jade knife.
I was gonna say like a pestle or something, but
Now you understand why the coveted secret of Crab Clan is their Jade Ancestral Daisho.
12
A weapon
levels
that
later.
never depletes, a chunk of jade that never goes away. Yeah, there's a reason they hand them down and they guard them furiously.
In 12 levels, Armando's just going to be riding through the Shadowlands with his giant metal dragon with a chain gun filled with jade-laced bullets like it's fucking Vietnam.
Fucking get Yankee in the trees, man.
I get up from where I was grinding jade and give him a small piece of jade. That's honestly, it's not much bigger than a scalpel blade, but there you go.
Okay.
And I go back to what I was doing.
Bring it down, and I'm trying to see how it reacts to the jade.
Yes, and you start to attempt something. Press
Gotta
the
be
jade up
starting
against the
something.
crystal,
Gotta
correct?
Yeah, pressing the jade against it.
Yes, you press it against it and it shatters. It begins to spider web up one side and smashes almost like rock candy. Very, very brittle underneath the jade. However, the jade piece is consumed and you suffer one point of damage as it burns. You're pretty sure there may be a more efficient way, but yes.
Sandoval looks over, sees the
Burned
shattered
him
crystal.
through the leather wrap.
I'm sorry.
I said I put a piece of wrap on the end because he wanted a knife. Well, you have a handle on it.
I'm aware.
Oh, so I'm saying it burned him through the wrap.
He's holding the crystal in his other hand.
Oh, the crystal burned him. Okay, I thought the jade
Correct.
burned him.
Yeah.
No, the
Sandoval,
jade
seeing
was-
it worked, nods to himself like, yeah. He's looking for tea.
Person number two that has been aided with Sandoval's amazing arcane insight.
Sandoval's
Did you
looking for
try
tea.
waving it?
Can I make a base intelligence check on this marker out here?
Well, let me finish with what Genji has going on. So you smash it and kind of burns the palm of your hand ever so slightly. But when you smash it, you hear that disembodied echo of a wail that comes across the wind. Sorrowful cry. Upon doing that, you get that same gravity pulling your senses. You're pretty sure it's drawing something beyond your normal senses. But your attention's been drawn into the house, where in the doorway there is a figure that is incorporeal yet substantial to you. You're not sure if anyone else notices it. Everyone else, you did not notice it. And it is the visage of an elderly man. He has taken on a gray mist like form. Seems to be standing in the doorway in earnest. He is waiting.
I turn and bow.
Roll your forgive me, willpower? Willpower. Will save, forgive me.
25.
Yeah. And you begin to inflect your intentions upon the disembodied figure. And it takes immediate notice. Looking at you, it too bows and begins to speak wordlessly. You, however, can read its lips, and he addresses you by name. Ah, Amuro Genji, I've been waiting for you. Um, give me a wisdom check or a sense motive if you've got it.
Meanwhile, off to the side, I have stopped crunching jade pieces in a bowl and I'm just staring like,
As Genji seems to approach the doorway and bow to nothing.
23.
Um, Genji, it would appear, um, this guy is even unaware that he's a disembodied spirit. Seems to be continuing the task he was appointed in life. And to you and your good sensibilities about the afterlife, that's a fucking bad thing. That's a haunting waiting to happen.
Right. But the easiest way to do it, to deal with it, is to let him. Is it implies he has unfinished business. So. I agree. I
What kind of
greet him.
knowledges does Genji have?
None.
None. Okay. Yes, you greet him. Forgive me. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I understand that you have instructions and information for me as I approach the mount. As I recall, that was what we were here for, yeah?
Yes, I was to provide you with prayer beads and all the appropriate items and reagents for a communion ritual. Sadly, it would seem I have misplaced the items.
So that was yours. We found it nearby. I gesture at the chest.
Good, you found it. No, these items are no longer mine. They were intended for you. Created, gathered, painstakingly so.
Out of game, you said that there was broken jade in the chest.
Correct.
The jade was out of game. Does it look like it was all meant? I didn't say this earlier. I should have. Did it all look like it was meant to be one piece, or was it just broken jade? Like
It,
someone had taken
it
jade.
appeared it appeared to be multiple pieces intentionally broken.
Okay. That is an important distinction. Very well.
It would seem he has taken notice of your flute sounds. As he seems to be hmm, enamored, enraptured, uh, remembering a far off detail that seems to elude him as he becomes more and more flustered the longer he attempts to think on it. Until inevitably he sort of recomposes himself and he turns to you and, ah, young one, you've arrived.
I
It
begin.
seems I have misplaced the items intended for you. Yeah, he begins to repeat some of the things he
Right.
has already said.
Do I know a sending? A
Uh,
funerary?
you could always just pull out your flute,
That was
strike a
honestly what I
belt
was going
one.
to do. Was just pop the flute and perform.
Okay, pull it
Which
out. Roll a perform.
first nat 20 of the day.
Ah,
25 total.
okay. And you guys all standing around, Genji produces his flute and begins to play a very low and slow, long drawn out, melancholy, funeral sounding thing that is quite moving. Leander is moved by the performance as he begins to furiously jog. Um, and as you play the song, it would seem the spirit is while taking notice of the notes, seemingly unable to interact or do anything. Your playing, however, does soothe him as he does not become more and more irate, nor does he begin to repeat himself again, as he seems to be just swaying in time.
I mean, I played for a while, and
It's you're playing a lovely tune, and it's got its attention. Uh, as you move, it moves with you. You do fine. So any kind of swaying you do, it mimics. You're pretty sure you could turn and start walking, and you could Pied Piper this thing.
have the problem. This isn't precisely what I normally would deal with.
Nope. But nor is trying to figure out the mysteries of the divine, saving a trapped goddess. Some have greatness thrust upon them, sir.
So you come out of the house playing your flute?
Mm,
He never fully went in. He's been on the porch the entirety of this interaction.
So and none of the rest of us see the ghost.
No.
So I've just been kind of staring there, or sitting there staring at Genji like, okay. Do you need some more jade?
I nod.
Kind of hold up the bowl, which has both some powder and larger pieces still in there.
Leander would offer help. He's not sure what he can do.
Are you asking me to roll a search, or is this a?
I think that
Nope,
was for
sorry.
Sandoval.
Yeah. It was meant to be a whisper, but that didn't happen. So. Are you going to continue to play Genji?
I slowly let it peter out, and I. Your duty is done, old elder. The items are passed on.
So it would seem. And he turns, and almost just as quick as he turns to leave, turns right back around with a look of surprise on his face. Ah, young one, you've arrived. It would seem I've misplaced the items intended for you. Forgive me. My mind is not what it used to be. If you and your friends can spare a moment, I'll begin to look for them. I've just put rice on as he disappears back into the house.
That is out loud. That is very quietly said under my breath. Shit.
Genji.
The spirit of the man we were meant to meet is still here.
Okay. Is he hostile? My one hand is
No.
groping towards my lantern.
No, he is stuck in a cycle. He recognizes that I am here, who I am, and what I am here for. And as you saw, I told him that we had found the items. He went, good, and then reset.
Leander, are are you are you saying that ghosts are beginning to haunt this island?
Pause, turn to him. Beginning.
Yeah, I actually look at Leander. What exactly did you think those things that attacked us were?
Well, I don't know. That's what I went to the other realm for. Thorough investigation. You know. Come on, I thought you would appreciate that.
Unfortunately, I'm not entirely sure how to help him pass on, which needs to be done quickly.
Knowledge religion check?
You can roll one.
Yeah, I don't think an 11 with my mighty 1 is going to
Yeah, you don't know much about the Tiberian afterlife.
Yeah. All right.
To be honest, it's something you're not truly versed in. You know, that whole
We could hold a
afterlife thing.
funeral?
You can roll a knowledge arcana.
Oh boy. Well, I rolled at the other end of the spectrum, not entirely, but close. 28.
Okay. It would seem you remember coming across some pretty old stuff, reading, trying to brush up on various alchemy things. And within a few of your alchemy texts were things that didn't really make a whole lot of sense. However, the more and more you seem to learn about this magic that Ecclesia seems to hold so near and dear, it would seem some of those things slide a little bit more into perspective for you. It would seem you've come across older writings from various people that have gone out traveling, potentially bards like Leander, but have learned over time that there are older archaic traditions of actual spirit shepherds, ones who would aid in bringing the spirits to their resting place. However, that kind of shit didn't really happen unless something was causing an issue with the traditional method of transference, implying someone shut the door or gate because they're not going on their own, so they need help. And roll a wisdom check, Armando, because you're great at those.
Well, I I rolled well. 19.
Okay. And so the implication here, you helped him break that gem. He broke the gem. Now there's a spirit that's not trying to eat you guys or suck your face into the void. And you're pretty sure you watched Leander go over there and snatch that gem. 2 and 2 is 4. You're pretty sure each one of those shadows is a human or person. Not, I won't say human, is an actual person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Implying that these things aren't being ushered off into whatever afterlife they should be going to. They're being hindered, turns into these fucking creatures. That being said, it would seem there's a some kind of issue being caused in that there is a decent number of them. I mean, four of them is rough, just right here, implying that 4 people hadn't gone on to the afterlife. You yourself have been playing with that. You've been skirting that line. You've
Right.
saved some people from the afterlife. There's an implication here that it's an actual physical fucking place. I don't know how profound of a revelation that is to Armando, but that's what you just came to. So,
So my eyes are darting back and forth between the doorway, Genji, and Leander. Like, Armando is slack-jawed at the moment. Like, actual mouth agape. Leander? How many of
yeah.
those gems did you see?
I mean, in the immediate vicinity,
Yeah.
just, I don't know, half a dozen. Points off in a, I don't know, vague direction. But over that way, dozens, hundreds.
Is that towards the Shadowlands? Towards the
Yes,
mountain?
yes. He's like, I'm loath to say thousands, but it's not really that. I can't count that high. It's that I just couldn't see that far.
Uh, hey, Genji?
Yes.
Tell me, how's that little shard I gave you? Did it break?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, tell me of the Tavirian afterlife. The stories, the legends.
Well, Sam,
so,
info dump, GM.
so it's your typical you know wheel. There is birth, life, death, afterlife, continuation. Um, in that, their story of creation comes from this spring, a wellspring of life-giving water provided by a dragon, uh, the dragon water goddess of life. Um, it would seem that pretty much your typical idea of where I'm going with this probably would fit in that it's this very vague, generalized, almost Buddha or Taoist like religion.
Genji,
Yes.
he's not going anywhere because he doesn't have anywhere to go. He was trapped in that gym. Every one of
What?
those gems Leander saw is a person's soul. Whatever that means.
Leander just kind of scratching his head,
Leander, you went
wide-eyed.
into the realm of the dead.
Sandoval, what you got in that flask, mate?
I'm still like just wide-eyed, slack-jawed, just
That look like
Yeah. So what's it mean? What's it mean when we've been sewing up them people and you've been zapping them with your little zappy pack there? What are you,
if
some kind of god? Is that what you think?
no,
Playing with life and death?
no, they're there because there's nowhere to go.
Wait,
The gates are closed.
yeah. Leander just kind of stares up at the sky at that one, and you're pretty sure you can see tears welling up in his eyes as he. Are you starting?
All signs I cannot be certain of this. This is not my realm of study, but everything I have seen says yes.
Meanwhile, Jaeger. Hello?
Guess a base intelligence check or something.
Okay. Yeah. Rolling intelligence.
Stuff back together.
What'd you get?
I got a 4. Hell yeah.
Ooh. So, um, pretty sure someone intentionally placed it here. Other than that, yeah, you're not sure. Looks like a rock. Other than the weird scratches on it, yeah, you're not sure.
Does can I attack it? I don't know. Fuck.
Yeah. I will give you, however, a wisdom check if you'd like.
Sure.
I like wisdom checks.
No, you like making them successfully.
17.
There you go. So you're not, savvy with all of that hoodoo. I mean, you got a guy in the group that flings fire, and another guy in the group that literally can make magic happen. He flings light and force, you know, controls the dead. It's like you're not savvy. You're aware of that at this exact moment. That is profoundly something that you're profoundly aware of. Okay. However, as you raise your blade to strike this item, a moment of reflection as you recall most things of this nature and science, magic, psionics, you're not able to really discern the three, but all of the things that you've ever smashed, smacked, seen get sprayed with any of the other two, anyone near it doesn't, it's not conducive to their health or a long life. Often they've either been exploded, eviscerated, evaporated, or just charred beyond all hell. So that's your insight roll. You smash away if you'd like.
How big is it?
Size of a notebook, maybe. No bigger than potentially a baseball home plate.
Well, fuck, I'm just gonna rip that out the ground and bring it back to them.
Okay. Roll strength.
26 on my strength check.
Yeah. I mean, it takes a little bit of digging from around the sides of it as you're incapable of just plucking it out of the ground like a ripe apple or anything. But, you know, 5 or 6 minutes of effort, and you get it out of the ground. You're covered in mud, but how's that any different than any other day?
Hey, Tristan, getting a lot of feedback off you, man. Do a quick reset.
With that, I'm going to call bio break.
Alright, pausing.
So, yes, Jaeger, you begin to dig out the flagstone, which, as I said, will be about 4 or 5 minutes worth of effort. Meanwhile,
Okay.
back at the ranch, yes, Armando says he believes the gates of heaven opens. Leander, staring up at the sky, asked Sandoval for his flask. Sandoval flings him the flask. He takes a shot, wide eyed, looks over at Sandoval, kind of smiles, shakes his head, puts the lid back on, tosses it back to Sandoval. Cheeky bastard.
Takes a swig, corks it.
Kind of staring out over the rice paddies. You guys can make spot checks, listen checks for those whose eyes are elsewhere. Like Sandoval, are you still inside?
Preparing tea.
Okay.
It's a 9 listen.
Yeah, you're making tea.
32 spot.
You can see Armando. Are you looking out over the field, or are you?
I was gonna be honest,
Your
considering
attention
where I
elsewhere?
was and where I was looking, I was going with the listen of 11.
Okay, then yeah, you're
I'm
kind
sorry,
of
17.
attention is elsewhere. Oh, 17.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was 11 on the die.
you could hear somebody clogging up through the rice paddy.
Probably
Hear
takes
the
a moment
splooshing.
to break through this whole particular morass of thought, but yeah.
Fair.
Turn to see Jaeger
Genji,
holding a
however,
rock.
yes. Genji, you see, um, Jaeger has a flagstone, perhaps the size of a large workout medicine ball. Easily 500 pounds. He's just taking his time lugging it. Hence the
I'm
reason you
sorry.
can hear. Hence the reason you can hear him splashing. By the way.
Jaeger, what you got there?
And as you approach, everyone's attention seems sort of elsewhere. Um, no one's really talking. You smell tea.
It's a rock I found over there in the paddy.
It's just gonna be like the bear thing.
No! And I toss it over to Leander. Take a look at it.
Is that a true statement?
It's notebook size. It's not that heavy, right?
He
He
said it
just
was
said it was
like
like
500
500 pounds.
pounds.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
I didn't
almost a
hear that.
500-pound stone.
He tossed it at Leander.
Oh.
Pretty sure
Well,
he'll
then.
die.
No, I don't.
Okay, yeah.
I
Well,
don't
guess
toss the
he'll die.
nibbler poop at Leander.
Yes, as you dug deeper, it seemed you revealed more and more of the stone, as the top portion that was revealed was about notebook sized, but as you dug further down, it began to get about bushel basket size.
Then I will gently put it down in the mud of the front of the house.
Place it
I'd say
down.
the porch, but it'd probably break it.
Yeah. How's your character iconic gone again? Oh, you're out in
My
the middle of the
computer's
field.
freezing
I was
up.
gonna be like, what the fuck? Yes, he brings a boulder, a very smallish boulder, places it.
Ooh, I toss it to Yule. There we go.
You really remember how much bigger you are than Yule, right?
Okay, now I set it down and I ask Yule to pick it up. Here, try
He's
it.
like, I just want to throw it at someone.
Didn't anyone put that card out? Is it still on fire?
No, we put it out.
No, it's out. Forgive me.
I throw the rock at the cart.
Oh, it's on fire.
Now the rock's on fire.
I go
Wait, the
ahead.
rock's what?
Wait, how did that? That's impressive.
Can you smell that the rock is cooking?
It's a rock.
Oh, I am very tired because this is all very, very funny to me. Mm. All right,
Jack,
so
you're-
he sets the really large freaking rock down.
It's a huge freaking rock.
Okay, why did you bring it back over here?
Oh, it's would you say enchanted or somewhat like that? You see, I could pull in and pull out my dragon sword. I could smack it and it would blow up, right? I think.
What?
Is
So I'm
I feel
looking
like
at
it
it.
would
What
end
No.
did
well.
he?
I'm
What kind of
remembering
fucking
some of the stuff I've read, especially when I was in Ecclesia, and I'm like, is that a ward stone?
I have no fucking idea, friend, but it's different than other rocks, and it was over there. That's why I was staring at it for about 20 minutes.
I'm looking at
You
it.
guys didn't notice I was gone. I was lost
We
in contemplation,
Things have
did.
grinding away my
happened.
mental gears. What did I miss? You guys, smells like you had tea and cookies.
No, not. No, I'm
Did you
looking
have
at the
tea and
stone.
cookies, Genji?
No, we have not.
Because I'd share with friends, you know. Jaeger kind of gives a little sad side eye and sits down near the stone. Anyway,
We have. No, I'm
So
looking at the rock.
okay.
Like
Yeah,
what?
you're like, what is this? You can roll a knowledge arcana check.
Oh, I have no actual ranks in it, but a 14 on the die.
Okay. Yeah, you're not certain. However, it does not look like a normal rock. I mean, yes, for all intents and purposes. However, once pointed out by Yeager what it was that caught his attention, you understand what it is he saw. I'm just not sure what that means. Armando, would you like to roll a knowledge arcana check?
Oh. 22.
Yeah, you're pretty sure that what you said earlier is potentially accurate. However, upon further inspection, this one doesn't necessarily seem to be exactly a warding stone, so much as some incredibly ancient, built for a larger race, keystone.
Say keystone?
Yeah, man. Potentially used in some capacity as key, a way to access some magical barriers. You're not sure. But yes, it seems to have its own warding effects.
I try waving it about.
And you hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're pretty sure, group of yachting, no problem. 3 or 4 of them effortlessly carry this thing. Or, Jaeger.
So it has to be somewhere to do whatever.
Yes, it would appear somebody was just using it for its warding abilities. It does not seem to be strong enough to ward off the void, however.
Or at least not anymore. This is some kind of key. Like a magical key to... I don't know what. But it would take, well, Jaeger to move it anywhere. And I don't even think he's going to make good time carrying it that far. So,
Is that a challenge?
No, I don't think so. I could
Fucking
make
do
it
it, you know.
more. Leander can make it more manageable. And I'm doing some math. Sorry. He can get about 12 hours worth of manageability before he would have to rest to do it again. But he can make this thing carryable and unobtrusive. Yeah, no worries there. However, you would caution once the magic effects wear off, whoever's pocket, backpack, or pouch this thing is in, you better be damn sure right about setting your watch.
hmm.
He's willing to dedicate a couple spell slots to it. If you're willing to hold it in your loin cloth, where are your clothes, mate?
Oh, yeah. And I tuck it underneath the flap behind the front of my loincloth. Safe and secure. And I give it a little pat.
All right. Yes, he literally makes it about the size of a golf ball. As he steps forward, gestures with his hands in the air, draws a sigil, and that sigil sort of stays ever so briefly in the air, and he sort of pushes it forward with a touch of will, and it physically moves over, wrapping itself around the stone, bringing it down to a more manageable, smaller than fist size ball. He picks it up, hands it to you. You've got 12 hours.
So I got an idea. So you're telling me in 12 hours, if we're in a fight, I could just throw this fucking thing at something. And it might
I
go
could
big
always
in the
just
air.
make I could always just make it big again. So don't piss me off.
I look at where Jaeger currently has it tucked and be like, yeah. Yeah. I kind of glanced back at the house. So, Genji, where do we go now?
A silver mine nearby. Village. Maybe we start there. Or maybe that's where all those glowy crystals came from. And there is no village.
Ali, here. I hand him a lens and slide it into the front of your lamp to help ward off any more shades we run into.
This is a good item. Protection from the dead.
Yeah. Personally not. Normally the dead have nothing left to fear from but disease. Yeah.
I thank you for this gift.
Just remember, they only last about a half a minute of use. Alright, well, let's get a bite to eat and then keep moving. No point in staying here.
So, yes, a meal is prepared. The ceremonial armors and weapons of your escort are gathered, placed here inside of the house. Party does now have 3 horses, unless you plan to leave them here as well. All 3 of the horses. Forgive me?
How burnt is the cart?
How burned is the cart? Okay. Someone want to go over there and assess that?
Right. Someone with, like mechanical knowledge and duct tape.
Oh, fine.
Armando steps up to the cart and without making much of an effort, you can tell this thing is it's savable.
Oh yeah. Gotta remember
Pulls out
my duct
pulls
tape
out a
ability.
roll of duct tape. Correct.
I
Pulls out a roll
automatically,
of duct tape. I got this.
yep, can automatically cast mending, make whole, and repair light damage at will.
But still, in my mind, this
I got
thing
this.
is wrapped up in so much duct tape. Oh, this is great, but it works flawlessly. The horses seem to be trained. They are wearing medium barding. All 3 of them are heavy war mounts. Three of them have military saddles, longbows, 20 arrows.
Well, I would suggest hitching a couple of them up to the cart and having Jaeger either drive or lead the cart, since he's got that or best likely to be able to control them with his hellacious animal handling abilities.
Yes.
And
I can like barely hear you, Jameson.
better.
Yes.
There you go.
My mic
Load.
got moved.
Rude.
But yes, I'd have Jaeger possibly drive or lead cart since he's huge. Put Genji on the cart since he needs to rest. And at need, I can ride the other horse.
Oh, you need me. You need me to deal with the animals. I can do that. At least I hope.
Yes. They are war trained. However, they did seem relatively spooked, implying that regardless of their training, the shadows seem scary. Ali can
Right.
attest to that.
That's fair. A 31 on my handle animal.
But yeah, no problem. They follow you. They listen to instruction very well. They accept a bit bridle. They allow you to tie them all. Everything. Got it. You nailed it.
Some
They
good
take
beasts.
very quick liking to you.
A very quick liking to me. Like the
Correct.
cat did in Mortano.
Yes.
What can I say? I'm just an animal lover at the end of the day. As I'm patting horses. I don't
Yeah.
have anything against bears being on a ship, that's for sure. As I grumble to myself with the horses. No, you guys get it, don't you?
Yeah.
At a game. I don't think they'd be particularly fond of bears on the ship.
They eat
They're
less. They eat less meat, but they poop a lot more. I'm not sure.
well,
A little
no,
bit.
I'm just saying, to the
And they
horses or to the bears, the horses probably look like a good snack.
That's fair.
depending on how hungry they are.
They're bears that have been raised on ships. They're hungry all the time.
Anyway, if we carry on.
So yes, you guys leave from the farm after midday. It is somewhere around 4, 3 or 4.
Passing Genji some tea.
What time what season of the year is it? Is it like 3 or 4 like now wintertime, or is it like 3 or 4 like springtime or something? I
No,
forget what season.
you guys made it to Siberia during the Bond Festival, which is essentially their Day of the Dead. It's nearing a colder portion of the season. However, the Meridian Isles do not experience snow in this area. So it doesn't get very cold. If you're asking about the length of day, that doesn't really change.
Huh, okay.
However, with that being said, you don't, forgive me, with that being said, the time of day is only going to allow for a few more hours of light.
Right. I don't recommend. Jaeger doesn't think that it's wise for us to remain anywhere outside of a campfire when the sun is not up. At the very least, we should have some form of light. We shouldn't be moving in the darkness.
Right.
That is what I think.
More to the article of day length. I had mentioned once previous, this was real early on in the campaign, about the way the sun rises in the Meridian Isles. It rises from all four cardinal directions at the same time, culminating in a noon, high noon sunlight, where they all four meet and then begin to dissipate and scatter across the sky, turning into the stars of the night sky. Hence the reason day length doesn't truly change with seasons. It's sort of the same.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that now. Now that you say that.
And so you guys make your way down a road. And does not take long for you make your way to a more well traveled portion of the road. Um, Along the way, you begin to pass piles of rags. If you stop to check them, underneath of them, you will find here or there wooden sandals, farming materials such as burlap sacks filled with various vegetables, and tools, metal and wood tools. No one's really carrying weaponry, so you're not finding like piles of rags with like knives and shit tucked up inside of them. Eventually, make it to a part of the road where there is another downed cart. There is fruit, vegetables scattered all about the road, smashed. Um, More piles of rags, sandals,
Does it
smoke
look
on the
like they were
horizon.
running from something?
Smoke on the horizon. Uh, Now seems as though everyone was taken where they stood. A few maybe, off to the side of the road, implying they may have attempted to run only after, potentially some silent attack upon the people.
That part's my question. Does it look dropped or does it look like they were running? That's why I was, Jaeger's the
No,
tracker,
I
so.
mean it's it's all of their entire clothes, just kind of like
Just like how
spaghetti
the
piled
guards
on
were.
top of their shoes. Yeah.
Ready?
The people were sequestered away from their items. Their items, however, stayed.
That does not bode well.
No. But as you begin to take stock, you count well over a dozen piles of rags. There's no way that this village, forgive me, would survive with this many people gone. Solid chance that whatever village does remain is currently burning on the horizon.
So that
However,
leaves the question: was it unintended or unintended or not intended, attended fires or some other calamity.
That's what I was just about to address. Solid chance that with the state of the farmhouse being still fresh in everyone's mind, that's probably what's happening. A bunch of unattended lunchtime fires that are growing out of control. As the odds that bandits would travel this far away from the coastline, or more appropriately in this region, this far away from their bases within the various rocky regions of the Shadowlands, relatively small, as this area is usually heavily policed by the Crane clan and the Phoenix clan a little further north. You make your way to a fork in the road, one leading towards a village, one leading towards silver mine. You know this because there is a sign that says that, written in Tiberia. So we come to a part of the road where a choice needs to be made. Do we head to the village? Do we head to the silver mine? Regardless of decision made, we'll also be asking if you guys are going to camp before making it anywhere. That way you approach at daylight, or are you going to approach at night?
Feel it unwise to approach any essentially shadow infested land at night.
Too late.
I believe, I believe the Shadowlands are approaching us.
No, see, we go and approach it at night, and we catch the shadow beast when they're sleeping. Right?
And so, Genji, right. Genji, how absolute are the borders of the Shadowlands? Are they tenebrous? Do they change? Are they like a war front? Hello?
Gee.
Master Genji-san.
The void sickness got him.
He seems to be perplexed, as we are in the belly of
That's
the
okay.
beast.
I'm aware I'm the DM asking him a question that he has to ask the answer from the DM about. So this is kind of giving him a moment to interact. Think we lost him?
Yeah.
Jimothy.
Timothy.
Jiminy, Jim Jerry.
And action.
Stand by, I'll go downstairs.
Okay. Hey, if people are starting to fade, man.
Dude, I've been fading
You know,
since before we started, to be honest, but I was like, I want to play.
Well, it is getting late, so we can make it to camp, and we'll pause.
Camp at the split in the road.
I'm fine with that. It's as safe as any other place you're going to camp at.
Yep, and that way
Ask
we
me
can
how I know.
So
because you're the GM. Just a thought.
Depends
Yeah,
if it
you're
counts as
right.
a crossroads or not, because that might be something. But you know,
That's usually where you don't want to camp.
yeah, that's kind of my point. But you know, does a
Yeah,
fork in the
check
road count as a
that
crossroads?
Technically,
You know,
no.
because there are roads crossing, or you know, it
They're
might be more of a
forking.
split road.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think that it's exactly what Crowley and them
Yeah,
were intending.
yeah. The demon of
They
the
need,
split roads is definitely
well,
not
they
as
need to
popular as the crossroads
cross
demon.
road. Yeah.
I don't know why that sounds really weird. All right, I
Because
guess
it's
we'll
way
call it.
lesser known, brother.
I'm gonna stop the recording. We'll back to it next time.
Yep. No
Demon
problem.
of the split roads.